Hello all and welcome back to the NFL Quicktalk podcast. As always, you can follow us here on YouTube and on Spotify. If you don't have the time to watch the video, Spotify is a great way to listen. Okay, let's just get right into it. Skip the pleasantries. Today is a jam-packed day for NFL football. I know that I made a video like 3 or 4 days ago, but I cannot help myself. There's been so much NFL news. I literally can't help myself. I gotta make a video on it. Let's get right into it. And let's just jump straight into the deep end. Justin Herbert, absolute stud quarterback for the Los Angeles Chargers, has signed a 5-year, $262.5 million deal to stay with the Chargers. That's $52.5 million annually. That is the largest sum of money any one player in the history of the league has ever got in 1 year. No other player has made $52 million. Even with all this recent stuff, Jalen Hurts, Mahomes got a big deal, but no one has made $52 million yet. Justin Herbert just signed that deal, making him the richest on a yearly average. He is going into his 4th year with the Chargers. Only one playoff appearance, got bounced. His 94 touchdown passes in his first 3 years as a pro are second only to Dan Marino, quarterback for the Miami Dolphins in the 70s. But Dan Marino, 0 Super Bowls, a lot of touchdowns. You got to prove it. Step up in the biggest of games. Justin Herbert still has yet to prove that. We'll see on the Super Bowl front. He's got to make it to a Super Bowl. You don't make this guy the highest paid quarterback in the history per year just for him to throw another 100 touchdown passes. You want a ring. This is what this deal indicates. This deal indicates the Chargers are full on. We want a Super Bowl in the next 5 years. You're in your prime here, Justin Herbert. We want you to go win a Super Bowl. We gave you the amount of money. We exceeded the amount of money. Anyway, again, he would have probably demanded. Justin Herbert, probably would have demanded more money if the Chargers would have waited till next offseason when he was set to become a free agent. So props to the Chargers for making this move. Otherwise, he might hit the $60 million annual. I mean, who knows? With the way the prices have skyrocketed for quarterbacks nowadays, I mean, he could be upwards of $65 million annually next year. Who knows? Next up, we have running back for the New York Giants. Saquon Barkley has made a compromise and signed a 1-year, $11 million deal plus incentives that can go up to $12 million. This is after a long standoff. The Barkley wanted $15 million. The Giants wanted to just franchise tag him, not give him guaranteed years. So this is basically just a higher paying version of the franchise tag. Really, Saquon Barkley had no choice. His 2 choices really were just to sit out the whole season and wait for a new contract. And everyone knows how that turns out when you get players like Le'Veon Bell, who sat out with the Steelers, was never the same, retired early. Great running back, could have been a Hall of Fame running back if he would have just stayed with the Steelers and just accepted like a couple $1 million pay cut. Or you could just take what the Giants are saying. If the Giants offer you any type of deal that's better than the franchise tag, then just take it. And I know I didn't put an episode out there, but my thoughts on this before it happened was, yes, please just take the money, take the guaranteed money, take however many years they give you, 1 year, 2 year, doesn't matter. Just take the money, take the years, and just go play. Go play. As long as it's better than a franchise tag, just go play. And it seems that he took my side on this because he did take the 1 year, $11 million, $12 million with incentives. He'll probably earn the incentives because he's a great running back. And I'm sorry that it had to be I'm sorry for him that it had to be a whole saga of events. Like, he's going to hold out. He's going to take the Giants off his social media page, which he did do. But now he's back with the Giants. That's the most important thing. 1 year, $11 million. Let's move on to the next. There's so many. We got to get them all done. Next up here, we have another New York Giant, offensive tackle stud Andrew Thomas. He signed a massive 5-year, $117.5 million extension. Now the Giants have one of the league's best offensive tackles locked up for the foreseeable future, and going in hand with Saquon Barkley, that should be great for running the ball with the Giants. The Giants are going to have a fun time running the ball with Saquon Barkley, one of the league's best backs. They have Andrew Thomas here signing this extension. He's going to be there for forever now. And they have Evan Neal, who they got in the draft from Alabama last year, and he's awesome. So the running game in New York should be just flat out amazing. That's what the expectation should be for the foreseeable future. Sticking with the theme of offensive linemen, Titus Howard, first-round pick for the Houston Texans in 2019, has signed a 3-year, $56 million deal. Not quite what Andrew Thomas got, but he is still elite on Andrew Thomas's level in terms of skill and play-wise. He's awesome. Now the Texans have 2 stud offensive tackles, him and Laramie Tunsil, one of the best in the game, if not the best, locked up long-term, which is great for the development of C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud is their young quarterback that they just got in the draft out of Ohio State, and he hopefully will not be sacked as much, and sacks, ruin development of young quarterbacks. So that's probably the main goal here in signing Titus Howard. Also, the running game will be good. Going to Dallas, the Cowboys have decided to sign star cornerback Trevon Diggs, brother of star wide receiver Stephon Diggs in Buffalo. Trevon Diggs has signed a 5-year, $97 million deal. He's really an all-or-nothing cornerback. He has lots of interceptions, but he has lots of blown coverages, but he can only get better with the blown coverages through time. He's already a Pro Bowler, and since 2020, no cornerback has had more interceptions than him, and that number is 17. He's a stud. The Cowboys are going to love him there. That defense is going to be elite once they sign, but they're already elite, but it's going to be elite for the foreseeable future once they sign star Micah Parsons to a long-term deal, which should be coming within the next year or so. Moving right along, we have Uchenna Nwosu, who was extended by the Seattle Seahawks. He's a linebacker for 3 years, $59 million. Last year with the Seahawks, he had a career high in sacks and tackles and TFLs, and I've watched the tape. Him coming off the edge is borderline elite. He's up there with Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, Nick Bosa. I mean, the way he gets off the line is super fast, and he's very well in run coverage, and he pairs really well with Bobby Wagner. And as you'll see in the coming videos, I am super high on the Seattle Seahawks, and this signing only proves more of what I will be talking about in future videos about the Seahawks. But Uchenna Nwosu, good on him for getting that extension. 3-time Pro Bowler cornerback Marcus Peters has signed a 1-year deal with the Las Vegas Raiders. He has played with the Chiefs, Rams, most recently with the Ravens. I'm sure I'm forgetting a team. But the terms are not disclosed, which means that we don't know how much money he has as of right now. Getting with this deal, they're probably still working that out. And good on Marcus Peters for getting on another team, even though he's climbing up there in age. Now, I know we've been through about a bajillion signings today, but I do want to get to one more. This just happened a couple hours ago, July 26th, 2023. The Bears are going to they're going to extend their tight end, Cole Kmet, for 4 years, $50 million. Last year, he had 544 yards on 50 receptions and 7 touchdowns. Very reliable. Works as a very traditional tight end. Loves to block. Loves to do everything. Great for the development of Justin Fields. And if the Bears are going to do anything this year, he's going to be a big part of it. So watch out. The last signing of the day, coming in about an hour ago. As I was finishing editing this video, I was lucky enough to catch it. Aaron Rodgers agrees to a new 2-year, $75 million guaranteed contract with the Jets. He was only there for 1 year. He was there for this year. And then after that, probably, I don't know, retire, something like that. No, he chooses to stay for 2 extended years. If you're a Jets fan, this is great. That's 3 years of playoff contention. Some people say Super Bowl contention. Not me. I don't think they're there yet. Maybe at the end of that contract, in his second or third year with the Jets, possibly a contender for the Super Bowl. But I don't think they're yet this year. That's just my opinion. But great news on the Jets front for Jets fans. Aaron Rodgers is staying for 2 more years in New York. Switching gears from signings and extensions, I can hear y'all sighing with relief. We have camp holdouts. Josh Jacobs, we're going to start with him first, is holding out from camp, from the Raiders camp, until he gets a new contract. He was Saquon Barkley was with him because he didn't have a new contract. But Barkley got his contract, so now he's back with the team. But Josh Jacobs, very good running back, led all running backs in yards, scrimmage yards last year. He is not going to participate in camp until he gets his new contract. And moving on from him, defensive tackle Chris Jones for the Chiefs, 2-time Super Bowl champion, captain of the defense. He is a stud player. I think a lot of sites have him as one of the top contenders for Defensive Player of the Year. But I mean, really for the same reason, he's holding out until he can get a new contract. Nothing more to say on him. And the last person, the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, Nick Bosa, one of the best, I would say the best edge rusher in the league right now. Nick Bosa for the San Francisco 49ers, pivotal to that defense, is holding out until he gets a new contract. And what I would say for all 3 of those guys is be prepared for new contracts very soon, because these teams cannot afford to lose these players. The Chiefs' offense will survive. The Chiefs' defense cannot take this big of a hit. Chris Jones is as impactful as Patrick Mahomes is to if we can make an analogy, as Patrick Mahomes is to the offense, Chris Jones is to the defense. That's how important he is. Josh Jacobs, the straw that stirs the drink. He is everything for the Raiders' offense. The Raiders are only functional if Josh Jacobs is functional, and right now he's not. So they got to do something about that. And Nick Bosa, I know that the 49ers defense is stacked, and if you take him away, that's still taking away a ton, but they still got to re-sign this dude. This dude is awesome. He is the best, like I said in the beginning of this segment here, he is the best, in my opinion, the best edge rusher in the whole league. Reigning Defensive Player of the Year, so you got to re-sign him. So look for these 3 players to be re-signed or traded or something in the next couple of weeks. I can almost count on it. Thank you all for sticking through to the end. I know that was a lot. That was I think that's our longest podcast of the channel. So there you go. As always, check us out on Spotify and like I said in the beginning, and I've been working day and night on this new project for the channel. So if you can stay tuned here for that. Shortly, I'll make the announcement on what that is and what I'll be doing for that. I'll probably have a special video just for that. If you can pick one friend, one coworker, just one, and just share it with them, share the channel, share this video. That would be greatly appreciated. We will catch y'all on the flip side.